Good evening. We are going to start the ceremony in a few seconds, or a couple minutes, honestly. So if people can get into their vehicles, we are regulated by the Department of Health regulations. So I just want to go through some expectations that's going to occur tonight. Anyone that is outside of their vehicle at any time during their ceremony, even if you're 6 feet apart, you must be masked. So if you are outside of a vehicle or you have an open vehicle, such as a convertible, you must be masked at all times. That's Department of Health. We're very, very fortunate that we've been able to offer this ceremony. We've been working for a long time. You know, when we started planning this ceremony, at that point there was only 10 people that could be out of a vehicle. So we are very, very happy with this. The students worked with me. They had preferred, rather than having their entire family out at the same time to walk with them, they wanted to sit as a class one last time. They've lost a lot this spring, and they really wanted to be with their peers. So out of respect to them, let's respect what their wishes about being together and make sure we're in the cars. There is a time where 2 people will be permitted to get outside the vehicle. When your child is about to have their name read, 2 people from each vehicle, to keep us under the 150 limit, can come and be in front of their vehicle. You must be masked. You can stay there for the entire time that that child walks the parking lot. It's a long walk because after they get their diploma, they will walk from their chair to get their diploma over here. They will walk up here for a photo op. They will walk all the way around to the end of the vehicles and then walk this back loop before returning to their chair. So at any given time, we're going to have several students walking back to their chair. That will give people plenty of opportunities to see them. Also, every student has been asked to complete a form where it told us how to read their name, what they're doing next year, and a final parting message. I'm asking, and the students are asking, that you please hold all cheering to the end. There will be plenty of time to cheer, but if you start cheering, parents aren't going to get to hear what their child has written to them. So once we start going through the diplomas, wait to the very end. We worked really hard. I have to say thank you so much to the students and the parents for all your flexibility in doing this ceremony. It's been a lot of changes and a lot of work. YouTube should be live. I believe there's only a 4 or 5 second delay at this time. So there's multiple ways you can watch this ceremony. You can be on the FM station, which will be 89.7. 87.9, I can't get that right, so let me say this again. If you want to hear this through the radio, it's 87.9. If you want to watch it on YouTube, the Chromebooks you got, if you open them up, that should go right to the live link of YouTube, and you can watch it there so you can see it. Miss Robert is also walking around with her phone, and she's trying to stream this through Facebook. So again, I'm asking at this point everybody to be inside their vehicles so that we can start the ceremony. So please support us, work with us. I know it's hard, I know it's hot. We have worked as a student body. We have taken a lot of votes. I worked with students every Thursday at 2 o'clock. I'm asking that everybody to please get in their vehicles at this time. It'll just take a couple minutes. I'm just going to wait until everyone's in their vehicles so that we can hold off until we've got some people complying with us. Again, I thank all the students that have come to the Thursday meetings, voted, and contributed to this. I really want to respect our student wishes because they have lost so much this year, and I'm asking people in the audience to respect them and comply with Department of Health regulations. you for everyone from complying. We really do want to make this a wonderful ceremony for our students, and we want to treat all parents alike, and so we're asking that everyone follow the same guidelines again. It's been a tough spring for all of us. It's been a tough spring for our nation. Right now I'm asking that we have kindness and respect for one another and just all work together. I have to say this is a remarkable class. They've worked really, really hard to make the best out of situations. I also want to tell you the work that people have put into this. I have to thank all the custodians and maintenance staff. Roger LaRose has worked diligently to build all this stuff. Dave Coffey, Eric from BOCES has worked very hard. John Burnett is here. He's worked to try to make the FM station work. We have countless people that have worked countless hours to make this work. So again, I'm just asking again that we all comply. If you are in an open vehicle, if you are in the back of a truck, you must be masked. So please wear your masks. At this time, we're going to be doing a lot of directions throughout the night because we didn't get the traditional rehearsal. At this time, I'm asking that all graduates please stand in front of their vehicles. Aren't they beautiful? Let's cheer them on as they're getting out. This is an incredibly remarkable class, so we should have all students that should be out of their vehicles, and I'm asking that you come forward so you make a line. So if you're in a second row, you should come forward at this point so you're in a perfect line. This will be a graduation that none of us will ever forget. And these students have shown an incredible amount of resiliency, more so than any other class I have seen. So again, I congratulate you for your hard work. We are going to start our procession, if you just give us a couple seconds for pomp and circumstance. But before we begin, I want to just, one more time, let's applaud them. They've worked hard. Mr. Cruikshank, Mr. Hunkins, members of the Board of Education, parents, teachers, families, friends, and graduates. Welcome to the commencement ceremonies for the class of 2020, the most unique class and graduation ceremony that I can recall at Norwood Norfolk. Students are already standing, but before we do the national anthem, I want you to take a minute and look around at each other. When we left here on March 13th and thought we would come back as the days went on, we did not think we would all be together in the same place at the same time again. I know it's been hard and you have overcome losses. I know it's sad, but let's take a moment and feel joy because we are all together, and take a look around at each of you and enjoy this moment because you're all together. We are here together. So thank you. So tonight we're going to ask our students to continue standing. If you're in a vehicle, sit tall while we play the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the
Thank you. At this time, our soon-to-be graduates, please be seated. Again, welcome to tonight's ceremony. I can't tell you how grateful I am that we are all here and able to celebrate their achievement. These students have worked for 13 years to prepare for tonight. You as parents have waited a long time. When they sit up here tonight, I'm sure you remember the first day you sent them off to school. It does go by quickly. You've all worked so hard. So tonight we are going to honor and celebrate their hard work. We have a few speeches. I want you to be patient with us. They're very short this year in order to shorten the ceremony. Our first speaker tonight will be our superintendent, Mr. Cruikshank.
Thank you, Principal Fetter. Good afternoon. Welcome to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2020. My name is Jamie Cruikshank, and I am the proud superintendent here at Norwood Norfolk. Before I begin, I just have to have a huge shout out to our first responders. Thank you. Thank you for all you do. Thanks for being here today and being here every day for us. We count on you. It's awesome. So, throughout the years, I've attended dozens and dozens of graduation ceremonies, dating back, in my memory, back to the early 70s. This is the first one in a parking lot for me. But it doesn't really matter the venue of this ceremony. It matters that you, graduates, are here. This is a milestone. That's what's important, not the location. It's the fact that you're here. And it is a time to celebrate you and celebrate the class of 2020. Today, as you walk across this stage and then later on turn your tassel, it's important to look back at what you've learned, not at what you've missed. The class of 2020 has the distinction of being more than just the senior skip day champions. You and your class, beyond any other class in history, have authentically learned many things. Typically, schools struggle to teach these things, but you had to learn them. You have authentically learned how to persevere. Real life perseverance. You have authentically learned how to cope and move beyond disappointment again and again, and at about 4 o'clock today again. Do you know how hard it is for schools to teach perseverance and coping skills? You have had firsthand experience, authentic experience. That's learning. You have authentically learned how to empathize and understand another. Guys, that's why you're wearing masks, for others. Now, this next thing you have always known, and I've seen it day to day, but you have had to learn in a time of great anxiety to be kind, compassionate, and considerate of others. These are the greatest lessons Norwood Norfolk could ever teach you, and you learned them, you had to learn them. Yes, you've learned a lot. The class of 2020 was forced to give up so that we, as a society, could flatten the curve. Like some generations before my time, sacrificed at your ages. They sacrificed for the greater good. You have sacrificed for the greater good. You have learned the greatest civics lesson ever. For that, thank you. Your sacrifice will be remembered. You individually will be remembered. And for this great civics devotion, the class of 2020 will be forever remembered. With that, I would like to introduce the next speaker. He is a man that does know quite a bit about civic duty and civic responsibility. He is an alumni of Norwood Norfolk, and he is the president of our Board of Education, Mr. Jonathan Hunkins.
Thank you for the introduction, Mr. Cruikshank. It is my honor and privilege to be able to address the class of 2020 on this wonderful day of celebration on behalf of the Norwood Norfolk Central School Board of Education. As a father, school board member, high school music teacher, and past graduate of NCS, I have journeyed with you through this crazy, unprecedented time in our history. But you must remember, with all the events and rites of passage that you may have missed, You are flyers. You persevere. You overcome. Challenges make you stronger and prepare you for the world ahead, whichever path you may choose. These personal attributes, coupled with empathy and kindness, will ensure that your success in this world, no matter the challenges that are laid down in front of you. Instead of thinking on what you may have missed during this year, focus on the life's lessons that you've attained while persevering and overcoming the challenges that this year put in front of you, and continue to fly into the future. I and the other members of the school board salute your success. You rose up and you conquered the challenge. Congratulations to all of you, and we wish you the best of success in whatever challenge you choose to take on next. Congratulations, NNCS, class of 2020. And now, as I have always said to my daughters and in past speeches here, make good choices and go ensure to make your positive impacts on this crazy planet. Thank you.
There's quite a few regulations to having a graduation outside during the COVID era, so please bear with us as I clean the podium between each speaker. We'll just do what we got to do and hope that we all get better. Thank you so much to Mr. Hunkins and Mr. Cruikshank for your speeches and your wisdom to our students. They are truly a fine class that we've all enjoyed. The staff missed you dearly this spring, and we are going to miss you next year too. At this time, I'm pleased to introduce our valedictorian, Sydney Jarvis.
When I found out that I was valedictorian, one of the first things my mom told me was to make my speech funny and keep it short. Naturally, my first instinct was to do the exact opposite. I wanted to make this the longest and most boring speech ever spoken at a high school graduation. But I never could have predicted that I would be giving my speech in such an unconventional way. So much has changed in our school alone, not to mention the entire world. And although it is true that this change has taken a lot from the class of 2020, we will always remember the different ways people came together to improve our last year of high school. As incoming high school freshmen, we always believed that we would have the amazing senior year our older peers had. We would have the fun senior trip filled with memories that would last a lifetime, handwritten signatures from all our friends in our yearbooks, and many other experiences. As I'm sure you all know, it didn't turn out that way. Our production of Fiddler on the Roof and so many other events we looked forward to were canceled last minute, leaving seniors and underclassmen alike with a sense of loss. But while this pandemic has taken a great deal from everyone, I prefer to focus on the positives of our situation. I know what many of you are probably thinking. How can there possibly be a bright side to this? But the proof is in the fact that I am even able to give this speech to an audience. Ever since quarantine began, Mrs. Fetter, Mr. Cruikshank, faculty, staff, our awesome advisors, and the Board of Education have been working hard to make the best of this year. For that, I can't thank them enough. One example is that instead of just being done with the musical, we seniors got to perform for our parents. And while I'm sad I'll never get a normal graduation, looking at all the cars in front of me more than makes up for that. And I do know that our situation could have turned out a lot worse without the support of our community. In 9th grade, my class wrote letters to our future selves that we would read near the end of our senior year. One section of this letter was what we thought the year 2020 would be like. To quote my letter, The world is always changing, sometimes for the better, other times for the worst. I just hope it would be better. Needless to say, my 2016 self had no idea what she was talking about. But I do know this. While we are the first generation to lose our senior year, we are also the first generation to overcome the struggle of unfinished business. Instead of remaining in the past and wishing for things that we will never have, we have become stronger than ever. The next chapter of our lives will no doubt be tough, but I have faith that we will persevere through the circumstances that want to push us down. What I will take with me to college are the memories and the years I have spent alongside an amazing class. I'll miss all of you. Thank you for these amazing years.
I'm pleased to introduce to you our salutatorian, McKenna King.
Good evening, graduates, families, Mrs. Fetter, Mr. Cruikshank, and the Board of Education. I welcome you here today to celebrate the graduation of the class of 2020. I speak on behalf of my class when I say that we have been waiting for this day our whole lives, and we couldn't have done it without any of you. Thank you to our staff, our administrators, our teachers, for always helping us towards our goals, no matter what the challenges were. And thank you to our friends and family who stood beside us each step of the way. It's wild to think that after today, we are going to embark on our own new adventures. It may be an especially interesting adventure for those of you who still don't know how to do your own laundry or cook a frozen pizza without burning it. Despite what it took to get to this moment, we made it. As we turn the page to the next chapter, we must reflect on what made this one special. From memories such as, "Hey kids," by Miss Lucas upon entering her room, the crazy BOCES bus rides, or so I've heard, and the shenanigans during any given lockdown drill that definitely should not have happened. We made it through high school, and we have the memories to prove it. A select few of us remember when the fire alarms went off during our Algebra 2 regents. But I'm sure that all of us remember the district-wide power outage last year and the day that popcorn almost resulted in the end to Norwood Norfolk. Thank you, Mr. McLean. Our high school memories, alongside our quarantine ones, will live on forever in the stories that we will someday tell our kids and our grandkids. If I've learned anything from this year, it was that you never know what the future holds and to treat every day like it's your last. Our lives are just beginning, so on to the next adventure we go. With the skills we've learned here and the tools that we have acquired, there is nothing that can stop us from reaching our goals for the future ahead. We are an unstoppable generation, and nothing is going to slow us down. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Thank you. Thank you, McKenna. At this time, I'm pleased to introduce to you the class president of 2020, Jaron Bellamore.
Good afternoon, graduates. Thank you, Mrs. Fetter, Mr. Crookshank, Miss Ives, Miss Lucas, Mrs. Roberts, Mrs. Austin, Board of Education, and all the local fire departments, police, and rescue squads. Thank you for all the hard work you have put in to make sure that we are all here today to celebrate our graduation. Most importantly, I would like to thank all the hard work and dedication that was put in to build these stages. The maintenance and staff here at NNCS have done an amazing job, and as soon as my speech is done, I'd like you all to honk for them for the hard work put in. So today I was going to give a really boring speech about gratitude in life, but I decided that wasn't right to make you sit through, so this is why I decided to write a new speech at 1:50 this afternoon. And that's against everything that Mrs. Cook taught me, so. Now, for all my fellow graduates, I'd like to thank you for all the great memories that throughout our time at Norwood Norfolk. I know this definitely is not the way we had imagined graduating. However, it is something, and in most cases, it is a lot more than any other school. I know you're probably thinking I'm going to tell you this and that about how to live life, but that's not my place to say. I am in the same boat as most of you, where I have no idea what the heck is going on until after it's happened, so. Which is why I didn't want to give my other speech. If you'd like to hear it, you can listen to my voice on the radio on Sunday. Because I have no credentials to tell you anything about life, I have decided to read you a couple of quotes. This first quote is something that most of you will recognize from a famous movie. This movie is about a young childlike adult who goes through life inspiring people. This movie stars Tom Hanks, who gives this quote. My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. As corny as it may sound, our lives sure have been a box of chocolates. Years past have gotten the good chocolates, but once in a while had a bad one. 2020, however, has been a lemon cream-filled chocolate. Hopefully, we get a new chocolate soon, and we get something like a caramel-filled. Lastly, for my second quote, Ellen DeGeneres once said, follow your passion, stay true to yourself, never follow someone else's path unless you're in the woods and you're lost and you see the path, then by all means, you should follow that. I hope that you all follow your own paths, continue to strive for the best life possible, and be able to achieve your goals. And as 2020 has shown, the road to success is always under construction. Thank you for listening to me speak, and now we are one step closer to getting those diplomas. Thank you, and now let's honk for all those people who have put in so much effort. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Sydney, McKenna, and Jaron. I think you can tell from the speeches what a wonderful class they are. Each year, the graduating class selects a speaker to address them. This year, they requested that Miss Lucas speak and send her a final message. I am pleased to welcome Miss Lucas.
Good evening, administrators, board members, friends, family, and most importantly, graduates of the class of 2020. I am genuinely honored to be addressing you on behalf of the faculty today. In searching for the words I felt might most speak to tonight's graduates, the only word that came to mind is wow. An ordinary word for the most extraordinary class. What an unbelievable high school career you have had. From the shifting of the presidential reins during your freshman year, leading to some of the most socially informed discussions we have seen in our classrooms to date, to the wild ride of a senior year this has been. Remember when we thought that the craziest thing that would happen this year would be the fire alarm going off on the last day before winter break? How far we have come from that day. And now, you are here. Graduation is one of the most quintessentially memorable moments in every student's life. meant to mark your academic preparedness to move on in pursuing your life goals. And yet, and possibly more importantly, it also marks a level of social readiness, which tends to be the more distinguishing attribute of most high school graduates. In this especially, I cannot think of a more deserving and adaptable group of students. In the face of what has been one of the most trying times in public education and adolescent development, you have faced challenges unforeseen and unforgettable. In navigating these uncharted experiences, I feel I have learned even more from you all. In thinking of this class, I reflect on a thought from Albert Einstein, who claimed that adversity introduces a man to himself. 4 years ago, I had the pleasure of meeting you as your class advisor. At the beginning of either this or the last academic year, we met again from new perspectives, teacher to student. And just when I thought I finally knew all of you, I had the privilege of getting to know you under entirely new circumstances, although more distanced from each other. Even after all of our various introductions, one notable quality has remained most memorable when I reflect on this class. You are kind people. You care about each other. This I've seen in countless times as you take each other in, new friends and old. You care about your families. This I've had the privilege to read about in your writing, which has allowed me a glimpse at how protective and heartfelt you are. You care about your school and your teachers. This I know from our daily interactions and the general respect you've shown to all of us. And you care about the world that you are living in. This I know simply from the way that you behave. You put good into the world, and I believe that this is what we as educators most hope to see in our students: kindness and goodness. I see them in each and every one of you, and I hope that you continue to emulate these qualities in all of your endeavors, just as I've seen you do throughout the hardship and adversity you have faced this year. Best of luck to you, class of 2020. I cannot wait to see the incredible things that I know you're going to achieve.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Lucas. It's at this time that we will recognize all of the graduates of the class of 2020. Mr. Hunkins and Mr. Cruikshank, can you please join me and prepare to award the diplomas? I have to say something because in a few minutes they're not our students anymore. So for one last time, such a wonderful group of students who we will always miss, and we want you to come back and see us under better circumstances next year. But one last time to congratulate our students before we make them graduates. Okay, this is it. Mr. Cruikshank, Mr. Hunkins, it is with gratification that I recommend to you the graduating seniors of the class of 2020. I certify that the graduates have met the required units of study under New York State law and have passed the required New York State test. Therefore, they are eligible for diplomas. Will the first row please stand? Sydney Jarvis. Sydney plans to attend Clarkson University to participate in the pre-physical therapy track. She says, for obvious reasons, this year has been different. And as a senior, I appreciate the extra effort the teachers, administration, and our parents have put into giving us positive memories to look back on. I will definitely remember this year as the year everyone came together to give us the best senior year possible. McKenna Lee King. McKenna will be attending St. John Fisher College to study inclusive adolescence education and math and will be a member of the track and field team. McKenna writes, I want to thank my family for their constant support in my academics, sports, and aspirations for the future, no matter how crazy they may have seemed. She'd like to also thank her friends for the countless memories they've shared and the shenanigans our teachers are likely to never forget. She writes, thank you to all of my teachers who have gone out of the way on every occasion, especially during at-home learning, to make sure we felt valued as a person above and beyond our grades. Without my amazing teachers along the way, I would have never found my passion towards education and teaching. Jaron Austin Belmore. Jaron is going to St. Lawrence University to study pre-med. He plans on majoring in either biology or chemistry. He writes, thank you to all of his friends and the entire class of 2020 for your support through the ups and downs. He thanks all of his family for their never-ending support. Most importantly, his mom, dad, and grandma for everything they do for him. Lastly, he thanks all the faculty and staff at Norwood Norfolk Central School for their support and hard work during this difficult time to make sure that Norwood Norfolk Central class of 2020 had a graduation. Kaylee Shrewsbury. Kaylee plans on attending the University of New England and majoring in psychology. She writes, thank you to my parents and teachers for always pushing me to do my best so she could achieve her goals. She says she could not have done this without you. Luke John Allen. Luke will be studying physical education at the College of Brockport. He writes, thank you to my friends and family for all the love and support throughout the years and pushing me to do my best. He writes, thank you to the teachers for always supporting us kids and making us do our best. He writes, I love you. Deuces. Stephanie Bach. Stephanie plans on going into the Air Force. She writes, thank you to my friends, teachers, coaches, and most importantly, my family. She writes, thank you to my mom and dad and Mary Jane. I couldn't be here without you guys today. Thank you for all the love and support through all of this. Nicholas Burke. Next year, Nick will attend SUNY Canton for the PTA program as a step towards becoming a physical therapist. Nick says, thank you to my parents for everything you've done for me. He really could not have done it without you. He also wants to thank all of his friends for always pushing him to do his best and make sure that he had some fun memories in high school. He writes a huge thank you to all the teachers he's had, and don't forget, he was Mrs. Pinsker's favorite. Molly Louise Coburn. Molly is attending college at Brockport and will be majoring in psychology. She says, thank you to my parents for supporting me through the entire high school career. She writes, thank you to Mr. Lejeune, Mrs. Cook, and Mr. Johnson for being amazing and pushing me in school. She'd also like to say thank you to Kaysen, Carly, and Haley for being there for me whenever she needed it. I just want to remind parents, if you can stay in front of your own vehicle, we have to abide by social distancing requirements, and we don't want to get in someone else's space. So if you can accommodate that for us, I'd really appreciate it. Cheyenne Coda. Cheyenne plans on attending Cazenovia in the fall. Her intended major is interior design, minoring in business management. Cheyenne writes, thanks to my grandparents for always supporting me and guiding me to do the best. She says thank you to my teachers for helping me do my best and helping me see my potential. She also writes into my parents, I love you. She will forever cherish her high school years and look back on all the memories. She writes, thank you to everyone who helped me along the way to start my journey in life. Erin Elizabeth Dickinson. Erin will be attending St. John Fisher College to major in secondary English education, and she will run track and field. Erin writes, thank you to all my amazing friends who make the last 4 years so fun. She could not have done it without the support of her family, coaches, and teachers. She will write, I will miss you all. Elena Elliott. Elena will attend St. Lawrence University where she will participate in indoor and outdoor track and field. She aspires to work towards her goal of becoming a strong, independent person as well as remaining who she is. She hopes to be a strong role model for her sisters and younger cousins to look up to. She writes, thank you, Mom and Dad, for dealing with me. I really put you through it. She also writes, thank you to the faculty and staff. She has a lot of great memories with many of you, and a special thank for her coaches and those who taught and worked with her personally. You really made high school not so bad. Courtney North. Courtney will be attending Elmira College to study nursing with hopes to become a pediatric nurse practitioner. Courtney says, thank you to my teachers, friends, and family for believing in me and pushing me to follow my dreams. I wish the best of luck to all the underclassmen. Try your hardest and have as much fun as you can during your senior year. And lastly, thank you to the administration for making these last few months as easy and normal as possible given the current situation. She will truly miss this school and the people in it. Levi Sosha. Levi plans on attending SUNY Plattsburgh for fitness and wellness leadership. Levi writes, thank you to Dad, Mom, Madison, my grandparents, Renee, teachers, and all of my friends who are near and dear to my heart. Erin Stickney. Erin plans to attend St. Lawrence University and major in art with a minor in education. Erin writes, I want to thank the wonderful staff at Norwood Norfolk Central School. I am so grateful to have had such wonderful teachers who have helped me so much throughout the years. I appreciate all the hard work Mrs. Fetter and the rest of the family have put into this graduation. It means so much to me. And she is especially grateful for her family. Dawson Villeneuve. Dawson plans to continue working and searching for a job with more opportunity. He writes, thank you to my parents for always supporting me and giving me everything I could possibly need to be successful. He also thanks all of his closest friends who made everything interesting and memorable. He says, I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for the people I love. Olivia Marie Weger. Olivia plans on attending St. Lawrence University in the fall to major in neuroscience and pre-med. Olivia says, I'd like to thank all my teachers, coaches, and most importantly, my family for being so supportive throughout the year. I wouldn't be where I am today without you all. She says, thank you to Dad, Mom, and Lauren for always being there for me. I love you. Douglas S. Price. Douglas will be joining the workforce. He writes, good luck to everyone in the future. If we can get through this hard time of COVID-19, we can get through anything. He writes again, good luck to everyone, and thank you to his family. Kayana DeShane. She will be attending SUNY Potsdam to major in education. She writes, I thank you to everyone who has helped me through the years. Mrs. Pandel, Mrs. Brockway, my friends, and my family have all helped me to become the person I am today. She says, high school has given me so many different opportunities, but I'm excited for this new chapter in my life. Carly Clark. Carly plans to attend SUNY Potsdam for psychology. She writes, thank you to my parents and my brother, grandparents, and all of my best friends. She writes, she would never have gotten here without any of you. Connor Page. Connor plans to go to lineman school. He writes, thank you to my family and to my friends. He will miss all of the memories, and most of all, he will miss playing sports with his teammates. Mariah D. Richards. Mariah plans to go to work and then she plans to go to college. Mariah says, don't spend your time wishing high school was over. Enjoy it while it lasts. You will definitely miss it. Taylor Lillian Vickers. Taylor will be taking a year off. Then she plans to further her career in criminal justice. Taylor says, for being my first year here has been unbelievable. I have met some of my best friends and I couldn't have asked for more. Thank you for all the laughs and serious moments. She wishes everyone the best for their future. Samantha Murphy. Samantha plans to gain her credentials to become an alcohol and substance abuse counselor. Samantha says, no matter how hard life gets, you can still get through everything and have a happy ending. Just put your mind to it. Alyssa Lynn LaRock. Alyssa will be attending College for Child Development at SUNY Canton. Alyssa writes, congratulations, class of 2020. We did it. Thank you so much to Ms. Taktani. You are an amazing teacher and have pushed me to come this far. She will miss you. She writes, never give up on yourself or your future plans. Stephen Michael Wagstaff. Stephen plans to attend North Country Community College for Health Science and Radiologic Technology. Stephen says, thank you to my family and friends for helping me through high school. He'd like to thank all my teachers for pushing me to do my best and get involved through the years. It's been an unforgettable experience and he will never forget the memories he has made. Joseph Baxter. Joseph plans to save money, move, and become an electrician. Joseph writes, I really enjoyed my experience at Norwood and I'm going to miss it. He appreciates all the teacher that helps to mold him into who he is today, and he writes, special thanks to my mom for providing me with the best life I could ask for. Alexis Marlene Jackson. Alexis will be majoring in applied psychology at SUNY Canton. Alexis writes, thank you to my family for being my biggest supporter. She also says thank you to my mom and grandpa for always sticking by my side. She concludes, I love you all. Joel Garriga. Joel will be joining the Army. He writes that he is thankful to have stuck through it even though through all the rough times. He says it's really paid off in the end. He also says thank you to his family. Cassandra McGinnis. Cassandra will be attending SUNY Plattsburgh for psychology. Cassandra thanks her friends, her teachers, her family, and she writes a special thank you to her parents for getting her to where she is today. Sarah Lynn Baker. Sarah plans to attend college at SUNY Potsdam to become a social worker. Sarah says, thank you to everyone who has been by my side. thank you mostly to my dad, mom, and all my brothers, aunt, uncle, cousins, grandpa, and my boyfriend and his family. She could not have done it without you. She writes to the future students, do your work, don't procrastinate, it's not worth it, and good luck to all of you. Emma Lauren Hayes. Emma plans to attend SUNY Potsdam for early education in childhood. Emma writes, thank you to each and every teacher and staff member at Norwood Norfolk Central School for the continued support and help along the way through her entire school career. She also thanks her friends and family for their love and support that they have given her for her entire life. She writes, thank you for the encouragement that has been provided to her to allow her to be her best self. Nico Antoinette Sweeney. Nico is going to study art and drawing at Pratt Institute in Brooklyn. Nico says, thank you to my wonderful friends who pushed me to do my best. Thank you to Mr. Hubbard and Mr. Yando, who gave me the skills I needed to get into my dream school. Jacob Skeels. Jacob plans to attend SUNY Potsdam to earn a history degree. He thanks his teachers, especially Mrs. Squires, for being patient with him and helping him to decide what he wanted to do. He also writes, thanks to my parents for always supporting me. Gabriel Goodspeed. Gabe plans to go into the workforce. He writes, thank you to Mrs. Belt and Mr. Ellison for making science fun and easy to understand. Reed Gravlin. Reed plans to join the workforce. He writes, thank you to all the teachers, coaches, and friends. He especially thanks his family for helping to get him to where he is today. Chloe Harvey. Chloe will be attending SUNY Canton, majoring in Homeland Security. Chloe writes, thank you to all the teachers for changing the methods the way they did so quickly to adapt to COVID. She writes, nobody expected any of this to happen, but the teachers made it easier to cope with. She thanks her family as well for all their support. Madison Michaud. Madison plans to attend college at SUNY Plattsburgh for nursing, followed by becoming a nurse practitioner. Madison says, thank you to my friends and my family for the unconditional love and support over the years. I worked hard not only for myself, but for the people who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. She concludes, I love you all. Gordon Hall V. Gordon will be attending SUNY Fredonia in the fall, majoring in sound recording technology. Gordon writes, thank you to my parents and friends for always helping him to become a better person. He also says thanks to all of the teachers and school staff members for the work they put into every single day. Haley Scoville. Haley plans to attend SUNY Canton for early childhood care and management. Haley says, thank you to my family for always pushing me to do my best and helping to get me where I am today. He writes, I would also like to thank my friends and she writes, I would like to thank my friends and family and classmates for making these last 4 years the best that they could be. She concludes, thank you to the school and the staff for everything you have done for our class. Carl M. Leifred. Carl will be going into the United States Marine Corps. Carl says that he would like to thank his parents, teachers, and friends for getting him through high school. He couldn't have done it without all of you. He hopes everyone in the class of 2020 has an amazing future and does great things. Pat Smith. enlisting in the Army. He writes, thank you to his mom and his dad. Pat says, these past 4 years flew by just like you said it would. I'm just glad it didn't take 5. Nicholas Kearns. Nicholas will be attending Lincoln Tech for electrical. Nick says, thank you to all of my teachers for motivating me. He had a lot of fun this year. He writes, good luck to everyone. He also writes, thank you to my family, especially my grandmother. Destiny Marie Rust. Destiny will be attending SUNY Canton for psychology. Destiny writes, thank you to my mom, dad, brothers, and the rest of the family for your unconditional love and support. She writes, I wouldn't be where I am today without all of you. Jude Lozon. Jude will be attending Damon College for physical therapy. Jude writes, thank you to the teachers, administration, and support staff for the continued support. It has been a great 13 years at Norwood Norfolk. Best of luck to everyone in the future. He concludes, thank you also to my family. Emily Jarvis. Emily will be attending SUNY Potsdam in the fall to major in early childhood education. She hopes to teach back at Norwood Elementary School in the future. Emily writes, thank you to my family and Michael's family for being there for me over the years. Without all of you, I wouldn't be where I am today. I love you all so much. Emily also thanks Mr. Burnett for always being there for her over the last 7 years. She says, I wouldn't be the person I am today without you being there to push me. Thank you. Kaylee Elizabeth Salaka. Kaylee plans to attend SUNY Potsdam this fall to major in psychology and minor in criminology. Kaylee writes, thank you to all my teachers for taking her under their wings the past 4 years of high school. She says each and every teacher at Norwood is always willing to let the students stay with them no matter the reason. She also thanks her parents for all the late nights, help with homework, and the tremendous support to help her dreams come true. Lastly, Kaylee says that she would not have made it throughout high school without her friends, and you know who you are. Timothy W. Monroe. Tim will be going into the workforce. Kaysen Abby Planty. Kaysen will be attending Clarkson University in the fall. Kaysen thanks her mom, stepdad, and grandparents, and her sister and friends for all the support throughout the years. Sean Durashi. Sean will be attending SUNY Canton in the pursuit of a bachelor's degree. Sean writes, thank you to my parents for everything you have done for me. He thanks his friends for the good times and his girlfriend for putting up with him. Matthew Dean Frost. Matthew will be attending Herkimer Community College to study physical education. Matthew says, thank you to my family for always supporting me. He also thanks the Burke family and the Perry family for making his days a little brighter. He writes thank you to Mr. Burnett, Mrs. Pandel, and any teacher he's had for pushing him not only to become a better student, but to become a better person. Carter John Richard Very. Carter plans to pursue a career in music. Carter thanks his grandfather for teaching him so much about how to be a better family. He also thanks his family. James Bushy. James plans to continue working for Keystone Roofing, and he hopes one day to move back to Florida. James writes, "Thank you to friends and teachers. It has been a great year, even with our dilemmas. I still appreciate it." And he says to all of next year's seniors, you guys have this. Take it slow and enjoy the little things. Kaylee Roddy. Kaylee plans to attend SUNY Potsdam in the fall. Kaylee writes, "Thank you to all the teachers who believed in her." She also thanks her family. Dante Trim. Dante plans to attend a trade school. He writes thanks to his friends and family for always supporting him. He writes thank you to my little sister Sophia for keeping a smile on his face, and he also thanks his grandpa George for looking over him every day while he's in heaven. Isaiah Gillespie Chicoine. Isaiah will be leaving for the military. Isaiah says thank you to all of his family and teachers to pushing him to get through high school. He also writes thank you to Kaylee and Taylor for being my best friends. Rihanna Taylor. Rihanna plans to attend SUNY Potsdam for either psychology or adolescent English. She writes, thank you to my mom and dad, my sisters and my niece and nephews, and my aunt for pushing me through the years. Thank you to my friends for giving me the memories throughout the years, and thank you for the teachers for making a difference, especially Mrs. Pandel and Mrs. Dion. And one last thank you to the class of 2020. We made it. Asia Wasson. Asia plans to attend SUNY Canton for early childhood education and development. Asia writes, thank you to Mrs. Belt and Mrs. Cook for talking to her and convincing her to come back to finish high school. She wouldn't have been able to continue without the support from Mrs. Bush or Mrs. Trimboli either. She wanted to give up so many times, but she didn't because of you, and that's why she pushed herself. Lucas Allen Fifi. Lucas plans to attend SUNY Canton for criminal justice. Lucas writes, I would like to give a special thank you to all of my teachers over the last 4 years and for all of the support and encouragement. He has many great memories of the school and the friendships he's made. He will miss all of his teachers and staff that he's gotten to know. He wishes his fellow graduates the best of the future, and if we can survive online schooling during the pandemic, we can survive anything. Riley Sullivan. Riley plans on attending Quinnipiac University in the fall, where she will be majoring in health science pre-med. Riley says, thank you to my family, especially my mom, for all the love and support through everything. She also thanks her friends and teachers for making high school years memorable. Tiffany Fisher. Tiffany will be taking a year off to decide whether she wants to go into the military or attend college. Tiffany thanks her family and second family for everything that you have done for her. She also says thank you for supporting her and encouraging her. Garrett Bond. Garrett plans to attend SUNY Canton for HVAC. Garrett thanks all the teachers and staff who made the past 13 years better for him. He says you will not be forgotten. He's made a lot of friends and good memories, especially a thank you to the boys. You know who you are. Mary Thrana. Mary will be going out to travel the world. She thanks all of you for the help from NNCS, and she appreciates all you've done. Hope Chapman. Hope has many plans for the future. She writes in a special thank you to all the people who have supported her through everything. She will miss Norwood Norfolk. She thanks her family and she thanks the staff. Cole Peretta. Cole will be getting his bachelor's in neuroscience and pre-med at the University of New England. Cole writes, thank you to all my friends and family for supporting me in everything I did throughout high school. He also writes, thank you for the teachers for helping him accomplish the dream of going to college. Caitlin Simmons. Caitlin will be attending SUNY Canton for early childhood education. Caitlin writes, thank you to Dad and Stepmom for helping and supporting me through the years. She says that she wouldn't be here without you guys. She writes, thank you to my friends who have helped with the struggles. She writes, I love you guys, and thank you to my whole family for always being there and supporting me. Emily Ross. Emily plans to attend Clarkson University. Emily says, thank you to all who helped get me here. Remember the words of Marie Curie, who wrote, nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. Braden Beaujolais. Braden's future plans are to enlist in the United States Army, and he plans to become a private investigator with the Bureau. He writes, thank you to all the teachers who have helped him. Thank you for my family for always supporting me with every decision. Thank you to my friends. He wants to thank everyone and say we made it. He wants to leave with one quote that really stuck with him over the years. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself in any direction you choose, by Dr. Seuss. Hayden Christopher Harper. Hayden will be entering the workforce as a mechanic. Hayden thanks his family and friends for pushing him through this, helping him with his homework, and making quarantine not so boring. He says, I hope the rest of you guys had a great year and made the most of what little senior year we had. Bianca Planty. Bianca plans to save up and decide if she should go to college. She says, high school has been the hardest thing I have committed to, but it was definitely worth it. She never thought she would say it, but she's going to miss waking up at 6 a.m. every morning to go to school. She's glad she finished, and she will definitely not forget her high school years. Austin Planty. Austin is currently working full-time at North Country Collision. He writes, thank you to the teachers for still believing in me. He says high school was stressful but fun at the same time. He is excited to move on to other things. Jacob Smith Gay. Jacob plans to go to SUNY Potsdam to study psychology. Jacob says high school can be the best or worst time of your life. He appreciates that he was active in sports and clubs throughout high school. He thanks his family. Cody Wilby. Cody will be joining the workforce. He writes, thank you to Mom and Dad and my brothers and teachers and my friends for helping me throughout all the years. He will miss it. Elijah Scofel. Elijah will be taking some time off. He writes, this was one of the best schools I have attended. The teachers were so great and so nice. He thanks everyone and his family. In just a few short moments, I will officially announce the class. I just want to use this time as everyone's walking to their vehicle to review the procession after we leave here. Please do not leave your parking space until a staff member tells your vehicle to lead. It goes right in same order. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the order we will go out. Believe it or not, our custodians will remove the first 3 rows of chairs very quickly so the cars can get out there. I also want to say a huge thank you to the fire department, rescue, police, and our communities. I can't tell you how excited they were to do this for our students. Our community loves our students, and they're excited to have all of this here. So to the class of 2020, you have left a huge impact on us. You are a great class. You've gone through something terrible, but please know that you are in the heart of not only the staff and students in the school, but you are in the community's mind too. The community has reached out countless times and called and say, what can we do to make this better for you? So a huge thank you to our Norwood Norfolk and Raymondville communities to really making this event a special occasion for our students. I also want to thank the people for here today. We've gone through a lot of regulations to have this ceremony. The masks I know are inconvenient for many of you. I also want to thank you for your patience. I have to wipe down in between each speaker. So all our students have returned to their seats. At this time, I ask that all students please stand. Okay. Yep. We're coming. Can our class president, Jaron, please step out a few feet and face your class? The tassels should be on the right side. I introduce to you the class of 2020. Please return to your seats after flipping the tassels. And instead of throwing our caps, we will raise our caps high, and please hold them there until I tell you to so we can get pictures. We will surely begin our procession. At this time, we start Ode to Joy, and let's start walking to the cars with the last row.